Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the CollectionSpace CS-02 Red Mecha Girl. Now this is the second in their series of figures. The first one was a Bumblebee. This is based off sort of a Cliff Jumper-esque type of based fembot. Now Red Mecha Girl is a fembot. You can remove all the kibble on the back and make it look way more feminine. Even with the kibble, you can see that it's standing okay. But now I did get this from ShowZ. This is a review sample, and the box doesn't match it, so I believe that the regular box should match it. I don't know 100%, but I don't know how they could tell the difference if they all come in the CS-01 box. But anyway, let's take a look at this thing. Let's see how it does. Coming up. As usual, I take a look at the packaging, and the packaging is, I guess, the same as the little bee, and it's no different. You just see all the yellow, all the yellow, and this one's red. But so it's pretty much just a repaint, in my opinion. 100%. I don't have the yellow one to compare it to, but I'll compare it to some other fembots that I've got in here. But there's the box. Okay, so I've got her out of the box, and I think that she looks really good. It looks like she's painted really well. I mean, that doesn't just look like glossy plastic. It looks like it's painted. Everywhere it's red. Not everywhere that it's black. That just looks like regular old plastic, but she looks to be painted very well. Now, I'm not a big fan of the kibble, and I'm glad they made it removable, but making it removable also makes it to where it doesn't stay on very well. It's really hard to keep on. So we're just going to take this short look at this, and then I'm going to take the kibble off, because the figure's so much more fun without the kibble on it. And I don't know. I just I wouldn't display it with the kibble on it anyway, but it's one of those things that it does have to transform and all of that. It is a super ultra shell former, meaning that the whole thing is, the whole car's on the back, and you just kind of fold her up inside of it. But we'll get into that in the transformation. Anyhow, I do think she looks pretty good. Even with the kibble on her back, you saw I spun her all around. She was able to stand okay. Gave her sort of a kind of side hip feminine pose. I'm not the best fembot poser, but I kind of felt like this would look good. But let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's take this backpack off of her. So here she is with all the kibble off. At first I kind of had this feeling like this is like a Kotobukiya statue. How they're doing the Megatron Optimus Prime, and now we're getting into the Cliff Jumper's the one that's coming next from that. They've already done the Bumblebee, I think. But those are made to look like real humans, and this is still a fembot, a mech. Now look at the shine, the sheen as I turn her, and you see it's matte, the black stuff's all matte, and then you got some silver paint apps to her. She does have some metallic paint on those eyes and on her forehead, which is kind of cool, and I believe the head sculpt is exactly the same as the Bumblebee one, and you do get quite a bit of range. We're going to go over that articulation here in just a bit. Now, these wheels that are folded in half and stuck on the back, it's a little unsightly, but I don't know. Do you display your fembots from behind? Because that might bother you. Seriously, that might bother you if that's a big part of your fembot displaying. But aside from that, I mean, I think she looks really good. She's not hyper overly sexualized either, which is one of the problems you get with some of the fembots, some of the people get upset about, which actually I don't care either way. I think she looks pretty good. Articulation, the head, side to side, you can go down to there, and you can get all that up as if she's like flying through space. So that is cool. And kind of get the vibe of an anime kind of figure, that she could be doing all kinds of flying through space and stuff, especially with that backpack on. Her neck does some really crazy stuff going for her. She has a collar too. So like a collar right there. All right, shoulder. Now these shoulders, they go way back, so she can just like she's about to come up and give you a big old hug. And then she can do butterfly to hold swords and stuff. Now the ball joint on the hands makes them pop off a little easy. They pop right back on, but it's a different way to do the hands, and it's kind of a fembot way. So you move her shoulder pad out of the way, you can get her shoulder up to there, or you can rotate it, get the shoulder up to there, and then move around like that. So there's ways to cheat the articulation. You have a bicep swivel, you have double jointed elbows, all you would need, and a ball jointed hand, which the hand is connected to the ball. Now, ab crunch, you have the midsection movement all the way around. And the ab, so getting an ab crunch, you're getting about that much out of an ab crunch. So, but you get two or three, two different joints out of it. if that's something that really matters to you. Now, she has tiny little hip flaps because it's just kind of strange how the hips go, and then you can go out to there, and it does feel ratcheted. They did take into account a tiny figure hold up a bunch of weight of the car, and then getting it back down. Now this is the transformation joint that also you have to kind of contend with when you're messing with the hips, but it's not that big of a deal. You do have quite a bit of range in the hip right there so that you can get those kind of feminine poses going on, and then you do have double jointed knee? Yep, double jointed knee, and a floating moving knee pad. And then the foot goes front and back, and then you can spin it all the way around. It's got all this range, so you can do quite a bit with that foot. And yeah, so she stands and holds any pose I try to put her in so far. Iron Man, eat her dust. Yeah, she can hold any pose, pretty much. Good posability. Alright, so she comes with a slew of accessories, trying to get it all in frame there. She comes with 3 faces, a shield, a bunch of different hands, a stand, and these 2 guns. So I was like, before we get into this, before I swap out her hands, how does she look like she's about to do a draw on the Western? You know, so that kind of thing. They plug into the holes right here. Although those are holes and these are kind of like rectangles, they still plug in okay, and they get the job done. If you want to do something like that, that's kind of cool too. And I didn't know if this is supposed to be a thing, but it also plugs into her forearms. Kind of strange, because I was like, there's something's got to plug into that. That's the only thing I see that she has that would plug into this, but it fits. I mean, you can make it work. I don't know if that was intended or just happy coincidences, but it both works. How many times in the Transformers universe did we see them just like lift their arm up and a little blaster comes out or something like that? And when you include stuff like that in the Masterpiece, like Springer has that included in Masterpiece forms, but kind of cool. That works. Next we get into faces, so I'm gonna take her just kind of standard face off, and I'm going to put on kind of the anime girl, sort of an O face, the O face, if you know what I mean. That's this typical anime girl face. And let's see if it zooms in on that. Let's make sure I got it on good. Yeah, it's on there good. So that's the face. I'm going to go with the other 2. I just can't tell any difference between these other faces. They don't look much different. So the O face, it is. She has a peace hand, a fist hand, and a breastplate that falls off. This is the second time it actually arrived falling off. I probably should just glue it back on. If I'm smart, I would just glue it. It's not a big deal, but just glue it back on instead of hoping it stays. But I'm going to use the holding hands because I like her guns. She has holding hands for the guns. We don't call them pew-pews on this channel, bro. But also, she's got a hole in her rear so that you can plug her into the stand. And then, why would you want to do that? So you can get her into a crazy, sick pose in the air. Well, unlike the pose I just put her in. She also comes with a tiny little shield that she can hold with her holding hand. You can plug her other gun into her side, and you can have her with her itty bitty little shield. She's trying to block that one stray dart with her tiny little shield. Well, it also helps as part of the undercarriage and hold the alt mode together. The stand also has storage. You can slide it open, and as you can see, if you put it all back in the box and you put the other hands on it, well, you can't put these hands back in any slot. So that's what's going on with that. But yeah, you can store it all in there if you want to just store it in the stand. It's kind of something new that companies are doing, but it all goes back in the box. Oh, well, I knocked her over. Here she is next to a couple of RCs. Some, probably I don't know, top 2. There's none of them have nailed it. They really should do an RC kind of like this with the same concept that looks exactly like RC. Anyway, this is the Takara, this is the KO that fixed the chest a little bit, and this is the Fans Toys. They both have backpacks. I think Fans Toys looks like a 12-year-old girl, just the way she's shaped. I don't like that. But Takara looks like a woman, and she has a giant backpack. It's not removable that I know of. But anyway, that is a comparison right there. Here she is next to Magic Square's Optimus Prime. So kind of a small bot for the most part. She's about 7 inches tall. Prime's right around 10 or so. A little under 10, maybe 9.8, but still looks good. Cliffjumper's supposed to be a small character anyway, so there's that to take into account. You kind of look at her, she's kind of like an anime girl, like a younger anime, I don't know. Size seems right, but I personally think RCs should come up at least to the chest on Prime to be the right size RC. And here she is next to Hot Rod. She's shorter than Hot Rod, right? What? RC who? Alright, now for the transformation. Let's try to keep all this on camera here. But we are going to flip her head around, and then we are going to move her arms to the back, like so. And she's just going to kind of rest them right here out of the way. And then we are going to flip this up, and when you flip the wheel over, this kind of pops this open so you can get that open out of the way. And then we can open this and then tab it in, and you got a wheel there. So that's good. Then we are going to come down here to this, which let's just lower this a bit, make it a little easier. Get that in place. And we are going to open this up and then fold it to the inside, and then double joint this knee up here, fold this up to here. So we're kind of shell forming this. Now I'm going to show how shell forming this is. I'm going to see if I can get away with this. If I could get away with this. Maybe I can't, but it'll still give you an idea how it transforms. Same thing on the other side. One more thing has to happen with the leg that I didn't do with the first one. We'll do it with both of them at the same time. There it is. I'll lift this up, fold it in, fold this up and into the cavity, and then like so. Hey, why aren't you going in there? Yeah, there you go. That's how you go in there. And there's that. And then we flip up this piece here. Got the ball rolling real quick off camera. I just don't want this to take forever. You flip it around, you put it up in place like so. So you get all of the curvature. Okay, so to get it to work, make sure that you have her shoulders up and arms up like this out of the way. The double joints on her legs that I probably failed to do, you just kind of fold them out, double joint them, and then fold the feet in like so. The heels got to go in, the feet got to fold in. She's going to go in there, twist and contort to get her in there, and then it's going to be a lot of fiddling to get that shell on. And we're going to see how much of a shell former this is. I do believe, I might be wrong, it might just be a running change for this figure, but I don't know why they would do it. But I feel like mine, since it's a sample, is put together wrong. And I think that this is pinned in backwards because it won't go forward like it should. But I tabbed it in using this in the back, so this still tabs in her rear. So we'll see how it works in the all mode. But as you can see, we flipped. So you flip this around, and then you flip this around, and then you get this lined up. Tab this in. Tab this in. We are really just going to build a shell. We're going to build the car, and then we're just going to put it on there like it's an assembly line. We're going to put it on the chassis. We'll see how that works. These things, I guess, are folded. You want to just get them in place, and we've got this part here. I feel like that's wrong, and it's going to be a problem. And without removing the pin or whatever I got to do to flip it around, but we'll see if I can pull this off. I probably can. I've done crazier things in my day. All right, so then we have this here, which is going to be kind of crazy what's going on with all of this, but let's do one side at a time, and we're going to start with, I guess we'll start with the back section. We're going to fold this down, flip this up, open that, and then we have to untab here. So this is kind of like just a holder piece to hold it all together, and then we just tuck it away. So it literally just holds it in place for the bot mode. And then we're going to open this up, fold this down. Okay, this has to get in there just right at the correct angle. There it is. That's the correct angle, so there's a double joint there. Then we are going to flip it around. It's going to come around over to here onto this side, and we fold that up. And then this is going to come over and tab onto the top. But let's get this thing situated. So we slide this on a slider, and then we tab it in this tab here. So let's flip it over. This tab here tabs into this, which is so weird. That is so strange that they do that. And then this tabs into here, and we've got part of it built. We've got the door, all that. Here's the front fender, and this is the back piece. So it's coming around. You can see it's taking shape as a bug already. Let's get this all out of here though before we get too much further into this. And then, all right, from this angle, we're going to fold this up, get it out of the way. This is going to form sort of the rear end of it. And I guess at this point you can just fold that over. Then we're going to fold the bottom part down. I think you have to fold it down before you completely make the rear part. And yeah, it actually has a floorboard kind of thing, so that's kind of cool. So then we are going to fold this over and then start tabbing it in. So it tabs into here, here, and in the back. So tab, tab, and tab. Yeah, I'm as you're paying attention, I'm just doing the shell right now. This is just the shell. I'm having a shell of a time. I got some turtle references. Turtle references. All right, see how it's already coming along? It's coming along like so. It's looking okay, I guess. Okay, I guess. And then we're going to do all the same stuff with the other side. I don't know if I should even bother with filming it twice, but let's just go from the rear end now. Can we just take it from the rear? Let's see if we can. I'm going to fold this up to... Now it's going to be harder to see now that we've already got part of it done. Fold this down. And we're going to go and fold it all the way down. And then this is going to come over here and be ready to go in the back. And then we have this. Fold this out to the front. It's going to go into there. And then lift this up a bit. Disconnect all this fun stuff here. Spread them. Make that match just right. And then fold this down, fold the whole unit up. Let's get this slider piece slid up, then go. I like to keep it to where everything still sort of makes sense as we're working on it, but this is going to come around and go to the top, and as you can see, it's starting to form. I formed the head. Then this folds. Now you got to completely fold it around for it to happen. Push that in. Push that in. There. Is that right? And then this should tab in. Like we just did it. On the other side. Hello from the other side. Speaking of hello from the other side, we're going to flip this around downtown. There it goes. Now we got to clean this section here up. And as you can see, this is on two separate joints. You will need 2. I'm not sure if I'm going to need to go up or down to connect it, so it doesn't really matter because that's going to be a future problem. But right now, we're just going to get this starting to tab all this in and have all of this in. Tab it, tab it, tab it. We are getting so close. Now, just for the time being, we're going to just lay these down like so, but these will, once you put the figure in there, they will be more important. And then let's take this and just put it in place. And all we gotta do is connect the front. Now, this will be a little harder when you put the figure in it, so but you got tabs here, tabs on the side, tabs on the front, on the sides, front, back, and side to side. Never let dirt. All right, there we go. There we go. Told you we'd be able to pull it off. There it is. The shell is formed as a shell form. Oh, I also forgot to show. I had these out on purpose. You can clip these in. I will show that as I go around here. Let me just tab the rest of this in. You can put the shield in. And the shield, once you kind of get these pieces put together, will plug into here. Make sure this double joint is all the way down. You'll definitely need that when you put the figure in there. Close this up. Tab this into here. Come on, man. Tab in. And then tab the rest into here. And it'll help give it some stability and solidify this. But as you can see, it's together. The hard part is getting it with the figure in there. That's how much of a shell former this is. I mean, I did this for one reason, the way I did it, to show it is a shell former. The whole shell former. The only thing you need the figure for are the front wheels. And that is it. That is absolutely all you need the figure for. So I'm going to mess around with getting the figure stuck into here. This tabs like an over and under. Give it even a little more stability. But yeah, if there was a way to just have the wheels in there, you could have both. Because I was trying to figure out a way to have it to display this and the figure side by side. Hey, I broke the weapon. But yeah, let's I'm going to figure out how to get the figure in there now. Okay, so we got to plug her in to all of this. Make sure, I don't know if I showed all this. Widen the hips, and so it's got a wider stance for the tires, and fold in all of the high heels for this figure. And I know everyone else is going to show how to do it with the kibble still on. That's not me. I'm not all about that lifestyle. I'm not all about keeping the kibble on lifestyle. And then, anyway, I'm going to tab it all together off camera because this is going to be challenging. This, putting the figure in there is challenging, but you just tab it all back together the way we had it. This is going to be hard. Alright, so here's the alt mode, and it's a nice looking alt mode overall. Have to be honest with you, you saw how easy it was to do the shell. You have the idea of how this is done. Heck, I didn't even tighten this up. But as you tab something in, something else comes untabbed. And as you go around it, you keep doing the same thing. It's just crazy. So I've got this angle, had this angle looking pretty good on it. It's challenging with a bot in there. So that is a challenge. But overall, it's a nice looking one overall. You can see I don't have, like, this isn't tapped in just right. And this section here is not just right. Oddly enough, I got the front pretty darn close, which I think everyone else struggles with the front, and I struggle with the rear. And of course, it was perfect. The whole thing was perfect when we did the shell before we put the figure in it. And the figure, just, you got to have her configured just exactly right, which I still don't 100% know exactly right. You know, her hands are up and her legs are contorted the way we showed, but this is a challenge. It's not the easiest ever, but hey, it looks good. It looks really good as a cross between a real Volkswagen and the cartoon. But anyway, is it worth transforming. Probably not. I don't think people are going to buy this to transform it, but the fact that it does transform is cool. It is a shell form, but it looks nice. I mean, they did a pretty good job with it. If I had like another hour to mess with it, I probably could get it all, every little bit tabbed in just right, because it's really, really close right now. But as I tab this in, I still got comparisons. I don't want to do it, but as I tab this in, this side's going to pop out. And I've messed with the arms and the shoulders and everything in multiple different configurations, and it just doesn't make it any better. Anyhow, it's not a big deal, and I don't keep it in this mode. I'm not really big on the alt modes, but I can see where they're going with it. Here is Bumblebee. This is the Takara, the official Takara, because the KO had too many mismatches in the paint. So I was like, I gotta put the official one in the alt mode and the KO in bot mode. That's how I play the game. Anyway, then we swap out here. Fuzz. So this figure is giving me flashbacks to Nam. No, flashbacks to X-Transbot's Fuzz, where I just can't, for something's not perfectly aligned just right in this, and it's still slightly off to this day. But I got that same feeling with this. X-Transbot's 2.0 in there. What is it? Lock Cup. It's a Cup of Fun MMC. Gotten relegated to alt mode comparison form. And, well, Fans Toys. The number 2 version of Sea Spray on the market. X-Transbots wins that, but that's how it looks. Alright, so let me know what you guys think about this. I think it's a cool looking figure. It feels like it's built well, it's made well, and I like the fact that you can pop all the kibble off. Transformation is a bit challenging. I think a shell former should be super easy, but now I kind of see why it is hard. It can be hard, but I think that they made the panels too thin, and so the tabs don't tab in super solid, and so that's part of the problem. That's why if you tab one in, it should hold for good, like a Fans Toys would. But anyhow, I did get this Josie. This is a sample they sent out. No, I believe it's exactly like the B, but anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you do order this from Josie, I have a link down below for you can get this, and of course TH reviewer code and all that good stuff. But I think it's kind of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what CollectionSpace does in the future. I mean, it's really kind of a cool idea. Will they do this with other characters, and will they do this with other characters that are not a Volkswagen? Well, check it out. Ted Hanger out.